for the last time. Okay. Hey there guys, what's up? It's All About Mike 18 here. 4 years later and I still can't do the whistle right. Sorry. Anyway guys, what is up? What's going on? I do not remember the last time I did a movie review for you guys in this surrounding. I am terribly sorry. I apologize. I've been immensely busy with college the last couple weeks. I just finished working on a film and it's basically like my Thanksgiving break unofficially, so I have a lot more free time this coming week. And this afternoon, on its opening day release, I was lucky enough to be free today to see one of my most highly anticipated movies of the entire year. That's right guys, in this video today for you, I am going to be reviewing The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. Because for some reason we needed to split Mockingjay into two parts, like Harry Potter. Anyway guys, yes, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. I have seen it. I am giving you an official review in front of a camera in my normal surrounding. I know it's unbelievable as hell, but let's just roll with it, okay? No, seriously guys, all kidding aside, I know like a bunch of you have been asking where's the November Blu-ray update. Guys, I don't think it's happening. A lot of other videos, I'm late on my Walking Dead reviews, some Blu-ray videos. I'm so behind. Guys, I sincerely apologize. Please forgive me. College has just kicked my ass the last couple weeks, just gonna be honest. Anyway, let's talk Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. Guys, I was sincerely looking forward to this movie. I had big hopes for this one. In case you guys didn't already know, if you haven't been following me on my channel for the last couple of years, I have been a big fan of The Hunger Games since it released in 2012. Can you believe 2012 we had the first Hunger Games? It is already 2015 and we have just gotten the last Hunger Games. Can you guys believe that? I can't. Yeah, it's been 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. I said 4 earlier. 3 years. I still can't do it. I still can't do the whatever. Anyway, no, seriously. I was really looking forward to it. I'm a big fan of the first Hunger Games, and I even love the second Hunger Games. Just a quick setup. First Hunger Games, I love it. Second Hunger Games, Catching Fire, I might love it even more. I don't know. Mockingjay Part 1, not as good as the first two, but I still enjoyed it. I had to buy it because I'm a fan of the series, and I haven't even read the book series, which was written by Suzanne Collins, which says a lot. I mean, in my opinion, the mere concept of these movies was just enough to get me sucked into the world, and that's why I'm overall a fan of the Hunger Games series. So guys, let's get into the premise and everything about this movie before I get into my thoughts of The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. So the movie starts up, guys, literally right where the end of Mockingjay ended, okay? Spoilers for anyone who has not seen Mockingjay, okay? I'm not going to spoil this movie, but I am going to be spoiling Mockingjay, okay? We all know that Peeta was captured by the Capitol in the end of Catching Fire. He was brainwashed, and now that literally picks up right after that. Katniss Everdeen is still the face, the Mockingjay. She is still the face of the rebellion as they are trying to crush the Capitol, and specifically President Snow and his evil tyranny, okay? And the movie literally starts off with them getting Peeta back, and Katniss just seeing how Peeta is so different than she once knew him. His intent, because he was brainwashed by the Capitol, is to just kill her, okay? So that's already, right off the bat, one problem she's got to deal with in this movie. One problem she's been dealing with all of Mockingjay Part 1. Regardless of that fact, though, another huge obstacle or problem Katniss needs to face in this is finally infiltrating the Capitol, okay? It is her and her rebellion team alongside her friend. Alongside her is her friend, her close friend, Gale Hawthorne. A lot of characters we met from the first Mockingjay, that sort of like rebellion team that was put together. We have Natalie Dormer's character. We have a couple other characters. Finnick Odair is back. Everyone is back, and they have put this team together, and they are going to infiltrate the Capitol finally to take down President Snow and his peacemaker army, and stop his rule, essentially. And that is their mission in Mockingjay Part 2, and that is all I really want to say in regards to the film. That's all I want to give away. But I think you don't need to like watch a trailer or, you know, just you could go into Mockingjay Part 2 and know that that is the plot of this movie. If you've seen the other Hunger Games movies, you know that that's where this Hunger Games is going to go. Essentially, it's the mission to kill President Snow the evil douchebag who's done all of this stuff for the past 3 movies, okay? He's hosted the Hunger Games. He's a ruthless man, okay? He needs to be stopped. And overall, like, that premise got me really hyped to see the movie. This is the last part of the Hunger Games series, okay? So naturally, the stakes need to be high. You know, the mission that Katniss has to go on to take down Snow and infiltrate the Capitol, all the stakes need to be high. And I feel that, although in some moments of this movie, maybe the stakes aren't as high, there are other sequences in this movie that actually worked quite well. And I, for the most part, found myself really enjoying Mockingjay Part 2. There are some great moments in this movie, no doubt. It felt like there were moments in this movie that honestly kind of were reminiscent of Saving Private Ryan to me in a sense. It's like an all-out war movie. It's the rebellion versus the peacemakers and the rest of everybody who's supporting President Snow in the Capitol, okay? I don't know why, but it's just the scenes when they're going through the war-torn Capitol, okay, and they're like hiding behind rubble and stuff. It just reminded me of Saving Private Ryan for some reason. I don't know. But no, seriously. This movie has like a very dark tone, alright? I think it's a lot darker than the first couple movies. Although the Hunger Games series has always had like that sort of darker tone throughout it. I mean, the subject was always brought up of kids killing kids. And that's what made everybody paranoid as hell with the first Hunger Games movie. All the parents were like, nah, I don't want my kids to go see this. It's just the concept of kids killing kids. I don't want to condone this shit. But no. I mean, like, so that was controversy surrounding the first one, and I think the movies have obviously gotten progressively darker. I think that this might be the darkest one of the series, in all honesty, and I think that sort of works to sort of have that as the movie's tone. I mean, there is one scene very early on in the movie where Donald Sutherland just absolutely shows what a badass he is as President Snow, how maniacal he is, and how unexpected he is as a character, really. He'll say one thing, alright, to another character, and that character will end up dead at the end of that scene, okay? That's how just twisted the guy is, how unexpected he is, and I thought he worked very well as a villain, essentially, for this entire series. My only problem with him in this movie is that he isn't shown enough. And again, this is sort of tying back to the same problem I had with Mockingjay Part 1, and it's the fact that there are so many characters in this movie. Whoa! I mean, it's really tough because I want to get attached to a lot of these characters, but they sort of just pop in certain moments, and it's so overstuffed. There are so many of them in this movie. I really wanted to see more Finnick, okay? We don't get a lot of Finnick in this movie, alright? But when there are moments when we get Finnick, it's freaking awesome, alright? There's some great Finnick moments, alright? There are moments, what's her name? Julianne Moore's character is pretty prevalent in this movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman even, who was very important in Mockingjay Part 1, and I know, God rest his soul, he unfortunately passed away, I think right when they were wrapping the end of this movie. So I think at some points they had to maybe digitally insert him into the movie to finish his scenes. I'm not sure. If they did a pretty damn good job, because any shot he was in looked like they actually were shooting him. Or maybe he had already wrapped. I don't recall specifically. I would have to go and look it up. But overall, it's just that overabundance of characters is the number one thing that automatically just detracted from this movie, in my opinion, anyway. And I know it sounds like I'm knocking this movie, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is the conclusion, alright? This is going to be the epic finale. We have had some incredible epic finales to young adult-themed movies, one of which being one of my favorite movies of all time, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Now, that is a perfect example of a Part 2 series that was split in 2 parts. Okay, yeah, we got over it. I love Part 1. Part 2 is even better. It's a perfect way. It completely it had a satisfying ending. It's a great way to conclude the series. Mockingjay Part 2, in my opinion, has incredible moments. There are incredible action sequences. There is one sequence I still can't stop thinking about. The characters are in this like sewer and they're fighting off like these zombie character things. I don't know. I thought it was weird as hell that they introduced these characters just now and that President Snow was just using them just now, just for the hell of it. But I don't care. I love that sequence. It's one of my favorites, probably of the entire series. It was riveting as hell, and I loved it. There are some great moments sprinkled throughout this movie. My only problem, though, that is keeping this movie from me saying, yeah, I like it more than Mockingjay Part 1, or yeah, it's my favorite of the series, it's that the pacing in other moments is slow, alright? There are slow, long, drawn-out moments in this movie that I felt weren't working for me, kind of like I probably wanted them to. And I have one big problem with something going on in the third act of this movie that I'll get into later. But I don't want to make it sound like I'm bashing this movie, right? I was really pumped up for this, even though I couldn't get all that excited for it in the last week because I was really busy with school and everything. But that's not why I came out of the movie and said, nah, there were some great moments. I enjoyed it, but I don't love it. I don't think it's the ending I personally wanted for the movie, but I mean, yeah, let's just look at the rest of the good, okay? The movie is directed once again by Francis Lawrence, who picked up right with Catching Fire, and I think a lot of people were happy about that because they hated how Gary Ross directed the first Hunger Games with shaky cam. Even though I really liked that movie, I brought the intensity, I enjoyed it, whatever. I think Catching Fire to this date is still the best film in the franchise, in my opinion. Even though I love the first two so much. And I think Francis Lawrence did a good job directing both of these films in general. I think he is a solid director. And I just realized this is the second time he's used like zombie creatures. He directed I Am Legend, like zombie guys in that movie, okay? More zombie people in this. Good job, man. Anyway, no, I think the movie is well directed, okay? I think the performances are great. I have not talked once about Jennifer Lawrence's Katniss Everdeen because she's our main protagonist. Do I need to talk about how good Jennifer Lawrence is in this movie? I know that when the first Hunger Games came out in 2012, she was literally just rising to fame. She was in that. She was in Silver Linings Playbook. I think both in the same year. And she was just really rising to the top, and a lot of people were like, man, this woman is so good. And now over the years, people are sort of looking at her as this overrated Hollywood actress. I still love Jennifer Lawrence. I still think she is possibly the best actress working today. I think that there are moments in this movie where she needs to heavily bring out the emotion in the character, and I felt it, alright? There is one great scene in the final act of this movie where she just breaks, and although I felt that happened way too late after a certain character dies, not spoiling anything, I think she's able to carry out the emotion. She's able to carry out the demands of this role incredibly well. She's a strong character. The character itself is very strong, independent, and works incredibly well for the movie as a protagonist, and is one of the most memorable, probably female protagonists we've had in film in quite some time, in all honesty. And that is why I enjoy her in this role, and I think that she's incredible. Right? Just got to give credit where credit's due. She's an incredible actress. The rest of the cast that we've grown to know over this entire series, it's great to see them back, and they're all great in these roles. Josh Hutcherson, Liam Hemsworth, they're all great. Woody Harrelson, they've all owned these roles. They've all made these roles their own, and that's what I really love about not only the characters, but the actors themselves. What's her name? Elizabeth Banks as Effie. She's in the movie in 2 scenes. It's great to see her, at least, in all honesty. Donald Sutherland again. Stanley Tucci, great to see back. And some new additions. Sam Claflin as Finnick, who's been in since Catching Fire. Natalie Dormer. I mean, it's great to see all of these actors. They're all committed. They're all good. There's not one actor who gives there's not one false note throughout all the performances. What's her name? Jenna Malone, I think, who plays, I can't remember the character's name. I don't remember. She's Johanna Mason. There we go. I think her name is Jenna Malone. She's great. Okay, I love her. But yeah, that's the strong suit of this movie. Okay, the production team and everything, like giving the effect of the war-torn city, the war-torn district, the costume designs, all of that is on point. Okay, the score, everything really works. The action sequences are very well crafted. They're intense. They're riveting. There are some very well crafted, suspenseful moments in this movie. And I absolutely love the final scene in this movie, okay? The very final scene is beautiful. It is a perfect end to this series. I love it. I love the last line that one of our characters says. I love the moment. It's peaceful. It's serene. It fits the movie itself, because this is a series of movies where kids have been pitted against each other in an all-out war where one lone kid stands out as the victor, okay? And it's a very savage method and everything. And just the way they end it, specifically, without spoiling it, is just beautiful, in my opinion. That is a beautiful way to end a series, and that's what I wanted. My only problem, however, is everything that preceded that ending. The entire third act in this movie, guys, takes a huge hard left for me, and it's very easy to distinct the third act of this movie from the rest of the movie. The third act starts right when a major character or a secondary character is killed off. Right when that happens, we go into Act 3, and the movie takes a hard left. It got messy for me. It felt like scenes were cut from the movie. Things logically were not making sense. I was sitting there asking myself, why are these characters, what is up with their emotional state? Why is this character not reacting to this character's death? Okay, why is this character not wanting to kill this character? That person is right there in front of them. What is going on here? Okay, it felt like, honestly, someone entirely new wrote and directed the third act of this movie. It didn't feel connected to the rest of the movie, in my opinion. It just didn't feel real to me. I actually got lost. It really threw me out of the movie, and I was actually incredibly upset with the majority of the third act of this movie. There's a great twist. There's a great moment in the third act, in my opinion, and the ending itself, the very last scene, is beautiful. However, everything surrounding that does not work, in my opinion, and that's ultimately what upset me with this movie, and that's why I ultimately did not like it more than I wanted to. I went into this movie really wanting to like. I really thought this was going to be better than the first Mockingjay, okay, because I felt that movie was very slow and there were way too many characters. The same sort of problem happened in this movie for me. Too many characters. There's a lot of slow moments in the beginning, and it's not like it's so slow it's like boring. I just felt that we needed something to sort of just pit our attention into the first act of the movie, and it really doesn't come in until about a half hour in, and that is just way too long, in my opinion, to sort of get me hooked into what's going on in the film. But that's ultimately not why I didn't care for this movie as much as I wanted to. I got into it come the end of the first act. In the second act, I was thoroughly engaged, but the third act just completely threw me out of it, just completely ruined things for me, and it just felt completely disjointed from everything, disconnected from everything else. The writing, the directing just wasn't as solid. It's like they kind of just worked on everything so hard, and then they went to just work on the third act, and it's just like they didn't put a lot of effort into it. It's just a lot of plot holes there, and I just didn't buy into a lot of things that were going on in the script. And it wasn't that satisfying, in my opinion. The final ending itself was satisfying. Everything else in the third act wasn't. And that's why I didn't care for Mockingjay Part 2 like I wanted to. And I know, guys, I'm a big fan of the Hunger Games. It disappoints me to say this. I'm still going to give this movie a fresh score, though. I still enjoy this movie as a whole. I'm just going to say that one chunk of it I just didn't particularly care for. This isn't the conclusion I particularly wanted. Maybe other fans will like it a lot more than me. I'm not sure. But for me, my opinion, I'm going to give The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 a solid grade of a 8.25 out of 10 or a B-. That's a good score. I'm still saying see it, alright? If you love the first three movies, you're probably going to love the finale, alright? You're probably going to go see it regardless, so don't even listen to me. And you might love it a lot more than I did. It's just my opinion. Some things just didn't work for me all that much. It's not one of the best movies of the year, like the first two Hunger Games when they came out in their respective years. I thought they were some of the best of the year. But it's still a solid movie on its own right. So guys, with that said, what did you guys think of The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2? Was it slightly disappointing for you, or was it the exact conclusion, the finale that you were dying for, that the movie you wanted when you walked into the theater? Let me know down below in the comments, and I can't wait to answer or see what you guys have to say. Alright, thanks so much as always for watching, guys. So sorry again for the delay. I will start getting videos up this week, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.